After 7 years, K3Soju has finally won individual play tournament. My name is Boris and today we'll be jumping in game from the game 6 of the Stargazer Cup on the NA side. We have 7 players in check, meaning everyone's playing their best and trying to chase that win out. So let's see what gained Soju the edge over the competition. Now, some might correct that he has won some tournaments before, but they all have been duo or team tournaments, EWC qualifiers, double up tournament, or any form of a team cup, and never has won a individual award. But however, those who have followed closely might note that this is not too much surprising, as from the last 7 the Pro Circuit Cups, he has made a final lobby in 5 of them. Every time there's EWC, this man shows up. He qualified for all 3 on set 15, 1 in set 16, and now another 1. We are starting out here. Let's quickly observe the board state. We have a Cho'Gath pair. We opted to also aggressively make 10 as this was a gold start, holding on to only possible 1 cost to be playing around, but otherwise without too much of a clear direction. GA would signal a potential to be playing for Master Yi comp, but we would have to make note of what our psionic item is, and it's going to be a contested line more than likely. Plus, Yi has some troubles winning out when we are facing these Giga tanks that are just going to be making Bramble Vest, with Corki also being very prominent in the meta. For our augment selection, Risky Moves is considered to be a prime tier augment just because it offers you that item, Anvil, Prio, and the gold influx is very strong. However, you do not want to be sacrificing too much HP. More for the tempo play, Band of Thieves would be quite appealing. Shield Maiden, we do not exactly have the components for it, and this augment is going to struggle winning out against the highest tier boards, even though Leona is busted, but we do not exactly have the items for it. Carve the Path is something that definitely would need you into that Corki line, since Corki absolutely wants that Deathblade. We would have a Deathblade Sam right now, but we do not have a pair on the backline carry. Now, this Cho'Gath upgrade could help us, but we would not have an item for it. We do not have a bruiser to go for it. That is the consequence we are paying. Whenever we are making this 10 gold on the PvE, we are more leaning towards a lost streak out. We see 2-star Jax already coming in from Darfnil. We see Expedition right there as well. Players are taking these risky moves themselves, trying to win out. The tower is a strong tempo augment for a possibility. Deals quite nice damage, especially in the early stages of the game, as this is going to drag on. But branching out could leave us potential direction, but he's going to be going with Carve the Path. Now, the center of the Carve the Path is that it's not that easy to cash it out, but we are going to be slamming the Deadblade, giving us the potential to play for some kind of Corki line. Also good on the Xayah and Jhin. Xayah generally wanting more attack speed items, you're getting that there, but DB is going to be sufficient slam until you make it a Jhin. However, it's a gamble to be going for that. Leveling aggressively here, valuing the tempo, since we have a strong item slam. Whenever there are less components, taking item augments is generally strong, simply because you have the possibility of slamming a quality item, and the item sometimes, if it's a strong item such as Deathblade here, is even more valuable in pro stats for the damage wise than the upgrade on a carry. And we are mapping out the Stargazers right now. I believe it's the medallion, not the medallion, but the boar right there being a 3-piece. Plus we have found a 3 timebreaker, which is going to make up the econ we might be lacking. And we can see he's holding on to any possibility. Like, this does not cost the econ right now, but since we're angling the win streak, we do not sometimes want to be making the econ threshold right here. We simply want to be holding on to our pairs on the possibility to string together the strongest board possible. We could, but here we could be even selling if in case we lose, but the way you make your board is by investing in holding on to these units. Now, to note, since the patch is coming out in a couple of days right now, a little bit laid back on the cheat sheet, is going to be using this time to analyze games from the TPC, and if I see something interesting, I'm obviously going to try to incorporate it. A little bit more about the patch after this god selection right now. Cosmic Hex could offer us a component we could use. We have an open chain, but this Varus boon, blessing boon, yeah, is not that strong. The Bramble Slam, we got a lobby. It seemed to be leaning a little bit more into the AD kind of line, and the Bramble Vest is very strong, but this is only 5 gold. Have a potential for high roll, but it's quite low. This offers generally a higher cap for ourselves. We can use this bow, especially since we have mapped out Xayah with 1 bows, and I believe that we're just going to be slamming here for the bow. Since we lost that fight, not under so much of a pressure to be going for a second slam. And our board has the potential to grow quite strong nonetheless. Naturally in quite a few units actually, and going to still go for aggressive level, going to be making 20 here nonetheless. Should be quite good on that front. Now let's see where he decides to slam his hex. Is he going to be looking up the constellation's hexes? Nah, he's just going to be slamming, it seems. Anyhow, queuing into Wigwag here, going open with AFK, trying to secure that loss streak. Very rich, but I'm not exactly sure without seeing his items what his direction might be. Quickly about regarding the next patch, just went over the patch rundown notes. The Diana comp with AMF seems to be one of the stronger 3-cost rerolls. Could be a slight early read that it might be more of a level 7 or level 8 kind of meta. AP got buffed across the lines. Morgana is becoming a tank in form of a 4-cost. So definitely a little bit more options there for be playing on the level 8 kind of style. Only natural and early Xayah right here, so that's insane, especially if we can complete a attack speed item for her in any form of a way. Now, okay, he slammed his hex in the somewhat of a correct position. That's also great for ourselves. Going to be making 40 right here and have a potential for a tank slam. Let's see if we opt to go with that Protector's Vow or the Sunfire. Sunfire could provide a little utility, but we're going to be valuing max cap right here through the Protector's Vow. Belt can become many things. We're still looking for that Sunder ourselves. Nunu obviously absolutely loves these Protector's Vows. A little bit on the mixed tree here, but very healthy. And with this natural Xayah, we're in quite strong state. You can see natural Corki there as well, so the lobby is quite strong on the department. And going to be barely picking up a bare win here against Brobabra, going for that Briar reroll 1 off. Has rolled down to 30, hasn't hit yet, so that's amazing timing for us to be fighting them. Now, we took an item augment and we're going to be scaling, and with this Deadblade and Xayah, we should definitely be looking around middle of a stage 4 cash out for our extra swords. Could, if he wanted to absolutely push the cap, could go for size matters, however, and this could offer us a slam right away. And the Xayah comp can itemize 2 tanks, but it's a little bit of a weaker. It's like we do not have another health item pair to reach this max health threshold right now. So potentially leading in econ direction right here, just to secure that we're going to be able to hit, and rolling for days would be a better option for that. Unless we are on odd XP with the Timebreaker, then could be considering. It seems he defaulted size matters simply due to the option of a component. You can see how much they value these tempo plays in this high elo lobbies, as well as if we are able to push tempo now, we are securing ourselves a prime spot to be chasing that level 9 for the Jhin, as this is where this comp actually is able to then compete. Second win, a decent tank option, 2 components, also great. So going to be rerolling that Electro Charge in your heavy front lines, but we're going to be chasing our components right there through small grab bag, simply a little bit more tempo and better obviously than size matters. Going to be slamming that last Whisper there to sort ourselves the Sunder out, so we still have the possibility to be flexing into the Corki Riven line even from this. Just have to see, and we can see that there's a guy with a number 2 and a Corki right there, so it's going to be hard to navigate into. We see a Veigar with a jeweled gauntlet slam, so that's going to also be contesting that Rammus, and nonetheless we're also going to be contesting Rammus in our own line, so it's simply going to probably boil down to what our forecast we're able to hit. And with a single Xayah, obviously we're more inclined into that. Just a little scared of our bow situation at the moment. Going to be simply still not being too aggressive with our gold, not investing any of our free rerolls in potential for hitting one of these pairs. Still hovering on here, wanting to make the maximum amount of gold, believing that by scouting the lobby we should be quite strong there at the moment. Have 2 item tank, well, Morello is HP, its HP is fine. Going to provide a little bit more durability for that Rast. And we can see Rast is a unit that a lot of players shy away from unless they are able to take advantage of his passive, but he's putting in quite a lot of work here. Cryogenic Hex absolutely amazing in his double thumb conks. Again, the bow is on, not something we would want right now, and we just simply cannot really use If you don't have a free reroll, gain a free reroll. We're sitting on 3 rerolls right now. Could potentially some interesting strategies open up with this when they remove this component right away. Nonetheless, the bow is quite appealing, so he might actually, he's considering it heavily. Maybe he's, I mean, it's a free reroll you could be digging for, but we're going to be going with a Cryogenic Hex. So having a strong frontline for your scaling carries, as Zaya is going to be generally your Rageblade Kraken user, is going to be quite strong. Slamming the Cryogenic Hex on the side, though. I'm not exactly sure of this. This seems to be the altar. This is the altar Stargazer right there. You can see the altar in the middle, so that's how you're able to identify. I missed the check in the early game, but so here we are stacking that, and that should be quite nice, providing attack speed and HP. So it's very valuable that we're able to slot that in right now and started stacking for ourselves. But yeah, regarding this Cryogenic Hex, right? If you generally want to be placing your main tank in this thing, and why not just put it in the middle there then? Because I mean, I'm here, he's there, so potentially he has some kind of a tank behind this, but you are opening up yourselves with your strongest tank right there for any kind of a wrap, which is a little concerning for me. Able to pick up a close win here against the K3Soju from Kai Wang. Again, unfortunately, we're unable to win streak, but sitting here on a 4 win in the 79 HP. Very strong going into our next stage, and I believe that from this spot our win share could be quite high. The lobby does not seem to be play. Potentially Bayesian Iverson might be going for some form of a fast 9 board, 100 streaking right there, so this is probably going to be our biggest contester, the final boss of final lobbies. We natural a Quirky as well, slamming that Kraken, so it seems that we're most likely locked into our Zaya line nonetheless, but Quirky is a unit you can be playing until you make it to that bard if you want the 3 meeple, since you want the meeples for the Rammus, but opted to sell it. Was kind to his competition that are going to be chasing it. Bayesian Iverson here streaking with that Vygar too. Now, I believe his game plan should be at this point going for fast 9, right? Vygar tempo and this contested of a Rammus and everything, Quirky lobby is going to be quite hard to pull off, and he is at 100 HP, so he has the lead to go for. For ourselves now, we are not on the poorest part, but healing orbs here, small melee, solo frontline kind of comp. Explosive growth would require us to be pushing that level 9. Duo Q has a potential flip for the Jin. We can use a couple of components right now. We still haven't procced our Carve the Path yet. I would be leaning for combat power right here, and Duo Q seems to be a little bit of both, finding econ and a combat power for ourselves. Plot armor a little bit weaker. Now we are running bastions, so that's why it's going to lose a little bit of that value, since it's not going to provide us that 8 armor and magic resist are going to be a little bit of a lower value. Herrero grab bag, if we were in desperate need of econ, could be ripping that, but we are not exactly in that kind of spot. Going to be re-rolling the Duo Q, valuing the combat power, so this, I believe, might be his read as we have the natural Zaya, and we were able to now pick up Rastu and find a Nunu, find a single copy of Rammus. We believe that since we have this HP lead, we can delay a little bit. Now, we are sitting on a pair, so we're going to be digging a little bit now more, but we can be sacking some HP, hitting here at 20 gold, nicely managing that econ, and then dig when the other players are have pulled out the units. Now, hitting the Rammus and the Nunu might be quite hard. Otherwise, we're evaluating that having these item and combat augment is what going to bridge the gap between us and potentially even stronger units. Finding this Zaya 2 right now and a Blitzcrank in our shop, so we are definitely in the stronger part. Playing around the Samira here to slot in our 3 sniper, slotting that Morello on the Blitzcrank as he can apply it quite decently. Quirky 2, Rammus 1 right there from our opposition. Holding on to this Mordekaiser on our benches, that's going to be our slot in once we find the Jin, so we can get the Darkstar execute as well. But definitely with Zaya 2, we should be quite strong. And we're able to pick up a win here against the Wigwag with the group Hug Rammus for solo frontline. So this should open up some potential Rammus. We could... He does not seem to be that strong, so we could potentially be waiting for him to drop out. Now, the only... this guy, man. Acceleration Hex. what we are lacking on Zaya right now is the attack speed. She loves attack speed. Acceleration hex. Slam that. We're going to be getting the attack speed for ourselves. Increased once we get to that Yasuo's blessing as well. Parting gift. We are in the higher spot. We're not going to get that much value. We can use a tier for ourselves as well. So this is going to be absolutely amazing. And now we're just going to be picking up any form of a unit. So now we're most likely waiting for Wigwag to potentially die before we're going to be rolling, as that's going to open up some of the units we're looking for. Otherwise we can just simply econ up. We should be quite stable if we're able to scam some fights. Otherwise we're able to make ourselves to slow level 9 against Darth Noob playing here the Altar Stargazer reroll. This Jax 3 does get knocked back by the Blitzcrank, so that's increasing our damage amp from the snipers, and very close fight, but the TF is still able to clutch it. Not exactly the animation he might have wanted for that TF, but he was getting there. You have to make slams for tempo, and sometimes your items work out as they do. Able to pick up that Nunu too now as we rolled after Wigwag had died. Definitely on the stronger part. He's, assuming, trying to juke his opponents, but you know the Zaya is going to end up in acceleration hex. Starting to stack that HP for ever since we hit this Nunu as well is going to alleviate some of the tankiness issues the Nunu has here, in form of the... He's paying a tax for being a CC unit, right? He's generally going to be a little bit less tanky, but we're going to be bridging that by having extra HP here. Evasion Iverson still running that Veigar 2 right there. Now we're probably chasing ideally 3 components. We're able to... We get insane 3 components, the Jin's best items, i.e. Deathblade right there, finding that D-Claw, which might be massive if Evasion Iverson is our highest threat. He's definitely pushing the levels with that Veigar 2 for some form of a Fast 9 AP board. Would assume that to be something centered around Sona and Bard. So having the D-Claw here is one of the rare cases in this meta that's going to be quite strong. We have a Teemo reroller in the lobby as well. Just have to be wary, for example, here. The Briar here is on the weak side though, and the thing with this Briar positioning is that you want her to drop the aggro and then retarget on the main tank, but we only had a 2-star Cho'Gath here, so perhaps a misplay by Who here. Or he was positioning, trying perhaps there's some kind of other matchup. Unfortunately, he ran ourselves, and Evasion Iverson picks up a win on the Veigar too. Okay, so he's definitely still able to agree that sitting at 58 HP with the Veigar 2 carry, this unit is absolutely nasty sometimes. You can see how much tax has been paid in this lobby by players playing for tempo. Here a Teemo without a Rageblade, so playing a Precedent, playing around that Zoe primary. So a lot of players seem to have locked in their lines through strong early picks, with that obviously Radiant Snowflake for the Sona being absolutely nasty, but then they were forced in positions to be making slams for tempo, as the lobby tempo generally was so high, with Evasion Iverson being just absolute menace from even not the strongest of the boards, but by simply having quality slams on his side. And now they are starting to pay the tax, and we can see the transition from Evasion coming in right there. Did not seem to have hit that much for fighting here. We have the Nami, so this is the very AP flex kind of a board. Nami 2 with a Karma 2. Lacking a little bit on that item front. We have a decent artifact through the Latent Forge. He was able to streak with the Latent Forge as well by identifying, I guess, the second wind pick there to be quite strong. And we pick up a single unit loss, even though you wouldn't. That's exactly what you would expect. This is the thing with the Kaisa comp. It's going to fall off until you're able to make it to the Jin. Slapping another Protector's Vow. Just probably going to be stacking them on the Nunu there. Double Protector's Vow. And now we are starting to possibly chase some items for that Aramis. Did not see exactly, I guess, an item we wanted for this Jin to be there. And Samira, well, as a reroll, she might not be strong. She's quite decent still when you are able to give her some items. And we have some knock-ups in our comp. So she's a complementary damage for ourselves. And again, a very close fight, losing to Darth Noob just by a single unit. Has improved his itemization on that TF. Now we're pushing level 9. Trying to see if we can find that Jin. Do not get there. Find the Rast right there. That should be quite strong. Slopping in a Sona is going to provide us a command mod. Have to note which one it is. If it's a gold one, then we might be in a little bit of a bailout. The thing is, sometimes you just make it to this level 9 and you never find this Jin. Doesn't seem to be the gold one, so perhaps it's some form of an attack power. I do not recall them from the colors just yet. able to take up a win against Pressevent, who has not really made it to that isolation he wanted to, and is going to come out in 5th place right there. So now it really seems that the Twisted Fate reroll should be starting to fall off, right? We still have a lot of room to grow, and they have quite have grown a lot. Even though they have this jack stacking there, still we have a better ways we can improve our itemization. We can find a Jin, and that's going to be an immense spike for ourselves. We find that Jin finally right there. Selling the Ramas, this is obviously since we found this Shen, we have this possibility to be doing such a thing. But Shen should be a little bit of a higher cap, also allows us to be playing around this Nunu here with not Nunu but with the Blitzcrank as well, potential cap. And we saw someone is holding on to those Blitzcranks. Yeah, we can see Evasion Iverson here holding on a Blitzcrank pair, and we were not really making it to that Ramas with how contested it was. And yeah, Brababra, who is also playing that Primordial reroll, has a potential to cap higher if he makes it to the gym of his own, but not going to exactly get there. And that's a nasty TG right there from Darth Noob. So we're fighting him right away. Let's see how we are faring against the Kate secondary carry. Is not something I absolutely love, but this Torque TG might be absolutely clutch for himself. The Nunu does get an amazing ult, and we're able to pick up a win. You can see just how big of a gap was made. Now, and it is Silver Scrapes encounter, so we're making to level 9. 1 roll, Jin 2, K3Soju special right there. Now, we're just simply tossing in, yeah, Sona command mod. There we go, and we are against the Evasion in 1v1. I think the GS might have been a little bit better on the Kai'Sa right there for full attack speed, but this is going to suffice how we are doing it. And now our backline does get wrapped on. This Blitzcrank has made it to the backline, and the Bard Gold comes in as well. The Sona managed to clear up, and this is the thing with this cryogenic hex placement. Perhaps he was gambling on a reposition from the Evasion Iverson, but nonetheless able to pick up a... He's able to pick up a win right there. So how do we come back from this? We just simply give up, finding a TG from our Anvil, going to be tossing that onto the Samira. As well, could have tossed it on the Shen as well, really. Perhaps he's valuing that he wants more damage. Now our Nunu is on the right side. We are going to be hopefully gaining a little bit more of that sniper value right there. And let's see how we're off to the races. The Blitz was on the Nunu, but we managed to clear the board off, managed to clear off the rest of the board and pick up a win. Just like a little look at the fight right there. So you can see the difference. And also noting that Evasion does not have Shred. He does not have Shred, so his items he sacrificed for the tempo. He did not find it. And this Nunu being right here is absolutely massive. Then have stacked that HP, has a declaw in the single matchup where it mattered the most. Even though his carries are absolutely focusing this Nunu, and recall, Jar has already built-in damage jump against tanks with a Giant Slayer. So this is not a weak itemization from the Bard either, with the Blitzcrank also being there. But the Zaya and the Jin combo were able to clear off the weak side, gain that extra damage jump right there. Then we are able to simply crumble their frontline through the power we have gained and able to clear them off, clear off Evasion. Big congratulations to K3Soju for finally winning a tournament. Long time coming, played masterfully, Start was flexible. He had the potential to play it for at least 2 prominent meta lines through his slams he's made, identified which one is going to be least contested, and then obviously the single high roll of the Zaya locked it in absolutely for him for potential to be playing for that. We not got that altar stacking, stayed flexible with the way we cap. This is not exactly the cap you might be expecting, but evaluating here the timebreaker. I don't think we have another timebreaker in right now, but nonetheless, having the 4 sniper right there, having the Ras to gain the magic resistant armors, playing still around the Samira, and just stacking in a Sona for even more potential damage and the earlier Nunu casts. Sitting here on the Blitz as well, not the standard way we would cap our board, but adjusted for what the lobby was playing, and was able to secure a win out. Congratulations again. I would like to thank you for watching. My meta sheets with all the cheat sheets are available in the link down below. And I hope to see you on the next patch. We're going to be continuing with more comp guides. Have a good one.